Hello everyone and welcome back to Direwolf 20's Let's Play. This is episode 34, and today I want to get started making a couple new items for you, as I try and do every episode, show you something cool and new. So let's get started, shall we? The first thing I want to do is show you an item that about 1 million of you have messaged me, or maybe not 1 million, but a lot, have messaged me, and I appreciate it because it's cool to get heads up on stuff like this. There has been a released edition of the Rotary Macerator on the Minecraft forums. Looks like the guy who's writing it, his name is Zippiness, not sure how to pronounce it, but you can go check over on the Industrial Craft forums in the add-ons section. There's a Rotary Macerator. As of this forum post, there's version 0.95 available. It fixed a couple of the bugs, but there's still one or two things that are a little buggy about it, but I said, you know what, let's go ahead and check it out. It sounds cool, and I want to get cooking with it. So, without further ado, I'm just going to steal this macerator right here. Oh, and see what I did? Something very stupid, but that's okay. Where's my wrench? Yeah. I'm supposed to use a wrench, guys. Remember what Direwolf told you? Ah, much better. So I've got a macerator here. Nice. Let's see what else I've got. I'm gonna need to make an advanced machine. And of course for that, I'm gonna need some tin, some iron, and some bronze. And I'm going to need these raw carbon fibers for a carbon mesh. I only need 2 of them, but I made a few extra just because it never hurts. So let's get those guys compressing. And I'll put my coal dust back in here. So I've got a macerator. It's not a bad thing that I destroyed that block because I do need an advanced machine, and now I just have a machine block. It's no biggie. And I'm going to need some refined iron. Also probably just clean this up real quick. Need to go get myself some smooth stone. Because I'm no longer going to have to need 6 macerators in here. I think 2 or 3 will be more than sufficient for my purposes. Perfect. So let's get cooking on that advanced machine. And you place down an advanced machine block, an existing macerator, and put refined iron around it, and you get an unnamed block with no texture. That's okay. That's one of the bugs, but that's not a big deal because when you place it in the world, it actually works just fine. Like so. Oh, neat. It looks like a macerator. And it's filling up with juice, and it's got this RPM speed thing here. Now, just like these guys, you can take a lever. And no, I want it to be cool like all my other levers. Yeah, that looks good. Flip the switch and it turns on. And it starts to build up an RPM speed. And just like this guy, it's got the faster the RPMs, the better it goes. And I think the max level is 10,000. I might be wrong. But at 10,000, this guy's at full power. You know, and anything less, obviously, he's a little bit slower. And just like the induction furnace, it requires 1 EU per second to maintain this faster speed when it's not processing anything. And also, just like the induction furnace, it requires 16 energy EU per second to actually macerate things. So if I go ahead and place a block in there now, let's just throw some cobble in, you can see it's maybe even a little faster already than the standard macerator. And cobble turns into sand, not sure if you guys knew that. Nothing too fancy. So I'm going to let that guy charge up to a high speed, and while that's going, I think it's time to go check on my quarry. I imagine that it's stopped moving. Yeah, definitely. Out of oil. How are we doing down there, Mr. Quarry? Let's grab our... Hey, you know what? I have my Swiftwolf's friend and Gale on me. Let's make myself some redstone. Remember, this requires redstone to operate, and without it, you're not flying anywhere. And away we go. So, we've made some good progress. Even looks like we found a couple, a natural cave or something like that down here. Well, that's kind of cool. Maybe even explore that at some point. might have seen a feather on the ground back there. Probably a result of a zombie that spawned inside here and wanders his way outside into the sunlight and burned for it. Just like that zombie, right there. Hey buddy, you want to come outside? I won't stop you. Come on, it's safe out here. I promise you won't get burned. Oh no, I lied, and I activated my Swift Pulse Rending Gale. And now you can't get anywhere near me. Ha 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 ha. I know I'm cruel. Anyway. Remember I told you guys in an episode or two back, I actually mined my way through 2 of these zombie spawners. But I think the quarry picked up everything that came out of the other zombie spawner. There was actually 2 down here. If I drop down, you should be able to see there's some mossy stones and some chests that it actually picked up from those zombie spawners. So pretty cool. At some point, probably in this episode, I'm going to rewire this stuff with teleporter pipes so that I can actually pump stuff directly from my base. But let's go check back on that rotary macerator that I was telling you guys about. We're making progress. I guess while that's going, I can hook up my cool stuff. Oil transport pipes. And I'm probably going to need some wireless redstone stuff, but for now I think this is cool. I'm just going to go out there. And I can clean up this massive piping system later. Oh, getting dark. I'm probably going to have to go sleep again for a minute, but let's get this guy started. Oops. Always used to doing that. And we're going to call this frequency 2. So now there's no longer any connected pipes, and we do not want this receiving oil on frequency 2. False, because we only want stuff pumping out. Let's go rest up a little bit. And then we're going to head back out to our quarry. Now I will be expanding my quarry because of this awesome teleport mod. I'm probably going to set it up so I have like 4 or 5 quarries going at once, all with oil getting pumped to them. But I think for now, that's not necessary. It's also no longer necessary to have this temporary storage tank here. I can just hook up my teleport pipe, like so, set him to frequency 2, and he can receive. And what should happen is oil should come down here, and I don't know if you guys noticed this or if I actually said it in one of my episodes, but oil tends to distribute itself evenly when it goes into a cobblestone pipe with multiple outputs. So, let's go ahead and turn this guy on, and I'm going to use some portal gun stuff just to run back and forth here, so that when I do flip this switch, it works. And what I'll probably wind up doing, like I said, is set up wireless redstone so that I can activate this pump remotely from over by my quarries. But for now, I'm just going to activate it here. So oil should pump through and wind its way up over here, at which case it's going to distribute evenly into all my pumps. And ta-da! Oil. How cool is that? And look, we're starting to get items again. And the combustion engines are slowly filling up with oil, which is great. And my quarry is digging itself very nicely. And at some point I could have a quarry over on this side, a quarry around here. I could have like 4 quarries around this system, and just pump a ton of oil into a bunch of different combustion engines and have 4 quarries going at once. That might be cool. And it might be something I do at some point. Maybe this episode, maybe next. I don't know. We'll see how things go. So that combustion engine seems to be filling up pretty nicely. I'm going to flip this guy off. Don't need any more oil sending over there, at least for now. The last of the oil's coming through. These guys all have plenty of oil in them to run for a good while now. I know they're not totally full, but that's fine. Now, if I really wanted to get fancy, like super fancy, I said I could activate this oil transporter with a redstone signal, right? With wireless redstone? Well, how could I automate this quarry if I really wanted to? you a hint. There's my hint. What if I were to set up a redstone pipe with an inverted signal coming out so that these blocks have to travel through my redstone pipe? It'll constantly emit a signal when there's an item flowing through it. And that signal can be inverted with the wireless redstone, which comes out over here, so that when items are going through, the signal is off, and it does not send power to this guy. But when items stop going through, the signal is on, and it starts pumping oil. Basically, it'll be a smart quarry system, such that it will pump oil whenever there's not items flowing through this pipe. That might be cool. It's an idea I just came up with this second, and maybe I'll show it to you guys later if I actually put it into production. Anyway, back to my base to check out my rotary macerator. How we doing there? Oh, up to 9,000 RPMs. Let's grab a stack of gravel, because we need flint, and drop them in there. Boom. Nice. Unlike the induction furnace, it doesn't have 2 inputs and 2 outputs. I believe it's something he's working on, and it's pretty cool. While this is chewing up its gravel, I do want to mention that there is a bug that I just posted on the forum there for him, Zippiness, to check out. Buildcraft pipes don't work too great with this system. The output works, so if I put a wooden pipe on here and tried to pump out this flint, it would work great, and it would pull the flint out. However, I noticed that when I was inputting items, they'd always land in this slot. And if this slot was occupied, items would wind up landing in this slot here. It is something I tested a bit. I'm just going to throw my flint into my input chest. So actually, I can even show you guys what I'm talking about in my test world. You can see, ta-da, test world. So, you would expect, like most macerators, for items to come in here, and the pipe coming in the top should activate the top slot. And let's put a couple, and you can see I was playing with my teleport pipes as well here. So let's watch what happens when a pipe goes in the top. What you would expect to happen is have it set up top here. Unfortunately, it doesn't. It lands over here. So I can't modify my automated system, but you can see items coming out of the output slot. So that does work. So unfortunately, I can't modify the system that I built downstairs in my diamond room. At least not yet. But for now, I can always macerate some gravel upstairs and, you know, go manually dump it in the pipe. And maybe at some point, I will wind up replacing this huge line of mess that I made with rotary macerators that will be able to keep up with all the coal coming down. Oh my, look at all the flint I have. Sweet. I had thrown a bunch of cobblestone blocks in and they got all macerated into flint, so that's nice. So I guess, since I have more than enough flint now, might as well stick another stack of glowstone in there, right? And we'll let that guy cook for a while. So, why don't I get started to do some stuff with my quarries? Okay, let's get cooking. First I'm going to need a little bit more redstone. That should be good enough for now. I'm also going to need some more iron. I really need to get down to mining or something. And I'm going to build some wireless receivers. First I need some levers for that. Why am I building 6 wireless receivers? That's a good question. You'll find out in a moment. So there we go, wireless receivers. You know what, I might as well build while I'm here. A transmitter. Awesome. If you take wireless receivers and put them in a pattern like so, you get an item called a wireless sniffer. I've been running around building all kinds of wireless transmitter things. This guy's turned on. This wireless transmitter is on. I'll even turn this guy on. That's my Tesla coil, remember? Ooh. Ow. Okay, I thought I would be a little bit protected from that, but maybe not. Sometimes that armor just doesn't work. Remember I mentioned this quantum suit sometimes doesn't protect you from too much damage? Yeah, this is one of those times. Let me get this resorted and I'll be back. Okay, that looks a little bit better. So anyway, I was trying to demo something. So I've been running around using redstone all over the place, and if I was being smart, I think this guy's even, is active open or closed? Active is closed. And flip this guy on. This guy's already running, as is this guy. Alright, so I think most of my wireless redstone stuff is on. There's a couple more, but this should be good. If I activate my wireless sniffer, you can kind of see it shows me what frequencies are in use here. This is probably a little hard to read, maybe especially on YouTube, but there's a bunch of little dots here. Green dots mean the frequency is in use at the moment, and red dots mean it is not. So this is frequency 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, and 7 are in use. 8 and 9 are not. 10 and 11 are. Not too shabby. If I turn this guy back on, stay away from him, you can see now number 15 is turned on, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are in use, 8 and 9 are not. So 8 and 9 are available at least. And that's what I'm going to use for my wireless redstone system outside. So why don't I get ready to go do that? There we go. Heading out here. I'm going to go ahead, break this stuff, throw down a wireless receiver, and make that frequency 8. Cool. 8 should be good. It's off. It's just as I passed 9, it flipped on for a second. And I should clean up this big long pipe. I will at some point, don't worry. I don't think that'll be fun to watch, so. Now, let's say, why not? Somewhere like here-ish. Don't need this guy anymore either. And here's where I'm going to put my wireless transmitter. Frequency 8, and a lever. I'm actually going to want this guy to be facing like that direction. So that's off and on. Let me go make a sign real quick. I like signs. I find it's nice to be able to know what's going on and what things are what. Obviously, you can tell if this is on or off because there's a big redstone block right here. I could hide this if I wanted to. Maybe I will. With some red alloy wire, why not? Okay, so I want this guy probably to sit just like this. With the lever like this. That's off. And I think this isn't going to be super hidden or anything. Let's go ahead and put our transmitter down here. Set him back to 8. Let's see how that works. Not too bad. Look at that. Nice. Then we'll put our sign that says something like Cool. So left is off, right is on, and this supplies oil. So push the button, flip the switch. Oil should start showing up in a second. Nice. Turn it off. Oil stops flowing. Perfect. Now I'm not going to do the redstone piping thing right now. It occurs to me it might not be a great idea. I'm not sure if I want to do it, basically. One downside here is that when this quarry's done, it's not going to be transmitting items through the pipes anymore, and at that point it'll just continuously pump oil into my combustion engines. Not the worst thing in the world, especially considering the size of the oil supply I just found, but it would be a little bit wasteful, so maybe it's a good idea to keep this manually controlled for now. But just as an idea and something I might play with later, yeah, it would be cool to do a redstone pipe to automate that. So I think for a little bit I'm just going to clean up this big old mess around my world of pipes and all this crazy stuff that don't need to exist anymore. So I'll be back shortly to show you guys something new. This, my friends, is the only way to clean up messes. Flying around with a laser gun. I'd clean my house every day if I got to use a laser gun and fly. Alright, back to cleaning. And you guys can see that I'm flying right now over to this system here. My old friend, the massive oil spawn that I found. Real quick, I do want to make one little cleanup system. Might as well send this oil back home. I didn't bring my wrench with me, did I? Always forget the wrench. I'm just going to throw down, it's only going to take a second to pump out this little bit of oil that's in here. And I'm going to immediately pump it out home. And while that's going, I'm going to explain what I'm about to do. I'm going to knock off all this stuff. Gotta love the laser. And it's getting dark, so maybe I'll go home real quick, sleep through the night. And I think in my last episode I mentioned that one of the things I'd like to do is set up a wireless redstone signal so that I can remotely activate the pump that pumps oil straight into the tank in my house, and that's what I'm going to set up now. And it's pretty straightforward. It shouldn't be hard to understand at all what I'm doing. I don't even need any of this stuff anymore, but that's okay. Actually gonna... Okay, I did bring some oil teleport pipes. This guy was frequency 1. Connected pipes 2. Am I using frequency 1 somewhere else? Let me go look real quick. Oh well, not sure what that's about. I'm just going to go ahead and come up here and connect my teleporter pipe. That's fine, it doesn't matter what direction it's in. Set it back to frequency 1. I'm not sure why it's saying connected pipes 2, but this guy's set on frequency 1 and it says connected pipes 1, so that might just be a little bit of a bug with the connected pipes issue. I'm going to go ahead and send a message to the mod creator and let him know about that. A little bit weird. But anyway, now I'm just going to make this guy, I did create myself ahead of time, a wireless receiver and a wireless transmitter. Cool. So, let's go ahead and put down our receiver. We'll make this frequency 9. And we'll make a transmitter right here. That will be frequency 9 as well. And do I have a lever on me? I do. I can just put the lever right on top of the transmitter, I think. Can I? This should work. Maybe. Yeah, that does work. Okay, now what should happen is, since I activated this lever, and of course I could do this a lot cleaner, maybe I will change that at some point, this guy's activated, and he's pumping oil straight out of the ground back to my base. See how that guy's filling up now? Nice. Turn the lever off, oil input stops. Ta-da! No more oil. And the rest of the system is now rubbish. Don't need any of this anymore. Beautiful. On, off, more oil for me. So now I've got a pretty efficient oil system here. Head back into my house. Should put a door there. I do knock holes in that wall frequently enough that it requires a door. Let's go downstairs and see how this system's doing. I did throw a stack of stuff in earlier, and it's macerating away. I'm just checking on it to make sure nothing's getting stuck anymore. Yeah, I know it's loud. Sorry. Nice. Maybe I should do something about the fact that I come down here frequently enough and always get stuck trying to come back up. What do you guys think? Yeah, why don't I do that? Okay, so I did make a minor change here. Nothing too crazy, don't worry. I'm not doing too much without you guys seeing it. I just decided to move this thingy this way. So instead of coming out to the right and straight into this pipe, it's kind of going around. And now I've got a straight upward path to this guy. Now, of course, anything that used to be in the blue pipe, the glowstone, for example, should be moved into the yellow pipe. So that's cool. So now everything should still work. It's just I'm kind of rerouted around this block here. Excellent. Let's head upstairs briefly. Okay guys, I'm going to make something here that I haven't made yet. Actually never made it before. I have no idea how it works. Alright, well, I have a little bit of an idea how it works. I have an idea. I'm going to go ahead and make this, an iron fence. You saw I made that with just 6 pieces of iron like that. And when I lay that down, it looks just like a fence block, except it's made of iron. Cool. And the next thing I'm going to build is a machine. I'm going to place an iron fence on the top and bottom and surround it with redstone, and we get this new machine called a magnetizer. This guy is kind of cool sounding. I haven't used him yet, so I don't entirely know how well this is going to work, but, you know, I have an idea or two. I think the way I want this to work is my magnetizer goes on the floor like so. And he needs some electricity, so let's go digging a little bit. And you guys may or may not know this, but I forgot my cabling. I need some glass fiber cable right there, like that. And I'm going to run this cable like so. The LV transformer emits power from all 5 sides that are not the input, that triple input. So I can wire actually cable to all 5 of these sides on the LV transformer. I could have just as easily stolen it from this line here, but whatever. Doesn't matter. And let's see. Let's wire this guy like so. Okay, so he should be powered now. He doesn't have an interface, so I can't right-click on him to test, but he should have power. And let's go ahead and tidy up this mess that I just made. Can I sneak a block inside there? Yeah, I can. Good. Okay, that doesn't look too shabby. Alright, so this guy is cool. If I put fence blocks like so, and walk up to them, you can see me kind of riding up the fence like that, huh? That's neat. I do have my head on the ceiling there, though, so maybe I want this guy to be moved back just a little bit. I need to go make a new wrench. My last one broke. Hang on a minute. Okay, time for yet another wrench. There is a item called the electric wrench, which, kind of just like it sounds, is a wrench that uses electrical power, and once it's drained, you just have to recharge it. However, I don't think the recipe is working at the moment. It also looks like the wrench doesn't pick up this magnetizer block. Hope I get it back as, yeah, I do. Alright, so you can just knock it off like that. So let's try here. I'm going to place my magnetizer block. Why not? Perfect. And the fence like so. So now, theoretically, when I walk up to this fence, it should propel me upwards. Or not. You have power going into them, right? Maybe I should just rewire them real quick. Hey, yeah, look at that. I'm being shot upwards. That's kind of cool. That's not too shabby. So yeah, I'm not pressing space or pushing any buttons, actually. This guy's just kind of shooting me upwards like that. And I can get off. Neat. Of course, I don't like the way my wall looks here. So let's go ahead and board him up. I need some more smooth stone. But yeah, it's kind of cool. I don't know if it works perfectly in this instance, but if you had, like, this is really meant to be a faster way to get up, like a big mine shaft or something. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, so let's say you've got this monstrous mine shaft. Now I can slide down. Alright, that does work perfectly. So, I want to get back up. Zoom. Maybe it needs to be one higher. That's not too bad, though. I like that, actually. I think it's neat. So yeah, this is kind of meant to be like, alright, you're in a mine shaft and you want to get up really fast. It's kind of like the industrial craft version of an elevator almost. But, yeah, that looks pretty cool. Just got to kind of place yourself correctly so that you can fall down. And then when you get close to it, it automatically shoots you up. I'm not pressing any keyboard buttons right now. That's neat. What would also be kind of cool is if I had like a piston here that sealed the floor below me. But, maybe one of these days. So now I can just fall right down, go investigate my stuff. Yeah, everything's running good. Alright, let's go back upstairs. Zoom. So that's kind of like the elevator, or something like that. Alright, so now that that's over, I'm going to go close up shop. Let's see what else I can show you guys in this episode. I will real quick check my chest, and you can see I've got 35 diamonds in there. That's a mix between some of the ones I made last night and a couple others. Let's go see how my obsidian aggregators are doing. I think I checked this guy recently, but he's got another 52 diamonds, not too shabby. I also refilled him recently because I did run out of redstone. But, I mean, it wasn't that recent that I refilled him. He's chugging along, making me some more obsidian. Very nice of him. Put my diamonds back in. Alright, I'll be back in a moment. Well guys, looks like this episode's been about 30 minutes long. I think it's almost 35 now. So I am going to wrap up. This has been episode 34? 34 I think. See, I'm losing track of how many episodes I've made. Yep, this has been episode 34. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you at episode 35 next time. Take it easy.